Hello and welcome to the 2021 Las Vegas Challenge on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. You are watching JomezPro, and take note of your surroundings. You're in a special place. It's the debut of BigSexyBarri commentary. Myself, Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
We have a windy round for you, and let's get into the Grip 6 low profile. Garrett Gurthie going to lead the action here. Second place at the 2020 behind one of your co-hosts here, Nate Sexton. James Conrad did not play this event, but he is playing with a new bag this year, MVP. We're excited to see how that rolls out for him. Yours truly, of course. And rounding out the card, we've got the ever entertaining and the All-American Kevin Jones. A great card, mixed action, a lot of different game styles. It's going to be fun to watch.
I'm Paul Ulibarri with today's Bushnell hole breakdown. Hole 1 is 233 feet, with the only trouble being short and right. What makes this hole difficult is you probably haven't thrown a tournament tee shot in 4 months. Can you calm the nerves and get back to the basics? Let's see how it plays out. You can find the Bushnell Sport 850 rangefinder at the link in the description.
And as you can see, I did not know that it was going to be catastrophic winds for this day, but so the basic shot is not so basic. As you can see, his disc just going up and down and then being pulled way left of the basket.
And that's a Firebird from Garrett at 233 feet, if that tells you anything about how windy it is.
No, you're 100% right. As you can see, that flag just fluttering on the right-hand side there.
Blowing into our face here, 20 to 22 mile an hour gusts blowing at north to northeast, and in this direction, it makes it such a difficult shot to throw that disc over the sand and trust it. And the safest play really is to go out where James and Garrett did, just to get it in bounds. And I stole this play idea from watching you in the practice round. And this wind was kind of a right to left headwind, so that crosswind kind of helps the disc get pushed down.
That's weird because I actually threw a backhand there.
Go. That's a decent shot. Is that your slab?
That is actually a metal flake destroyer.
Oh, okay.
Really, really, really overstable. I like that it has a little bit more of a sharp edge than the slab, so it can kind of just bite the ground.
I feel like the best play here is a mid-range, an overstable mid-range, or even a putter, but you see all these guys kind of get scared and throw the driver.
Yeah, if that turns over at all, you are out of bounds and you're taking a really unfortunate number on this first hole.
And all that sand plays hazard as well. You got to keep that in mind. So were Garrett to go for this, I'm sure he won't. But if he goes into that sand, he's not going to get to take his meter and come back to the basket. He's going to have to putt that from where it lies with penalty.
Should have thrown the Firebird.
And he was saying instead of throwing the X3, the ABR X3, he wanted to get closer to the basket there because he left himself just a really nervy headwind putt. I mean, even from 10 feet with that much wind blowing into your face, that's not the putt you want to look at. Kevin want no part of that action.
Especially with his style of putt, that really up and down, that's going to be a definitely tough 12-footer. You make that look really easy. Great putt there.
Great start.
That was just a direct tailwind, and it was like one of those situations where I was thinking to myself, don't be a sucker. Nate's always like, don't go out like a sucker, and I was trying not to, and fortunately that was true.
Mission success.
And
a good par save there.
time for the tailwind or the headwind.
2 shots he wasn't necessarily happy with, but got away with it.
Speaking of getting away with one, Kale LaVisca starting the tournament off with a 1. What an incredible career accomplishment to start a tournament off. Always wanted to do that. Just get an ace on the first hole. It's all downhill from there, but pretty cool.
Hole 2, another par 3, 324 feet. There's 2 main gaps here. You have a gap on the left that you could take a right-hand forehand through, or the gap that the drone is flying where you're going to play a stall shot with a kind of flat to hyzer finish. This little hill kind of protects the basket. Luckily, there's that big flag so you can keep your vision and kind of know what line you're looking for.
And I know it looks like you have this big gap here to the right, but that backhand gap actually is very small because you aren't able to get the height that you really would like, or get it wide enough with this crazy right to left crosswind.
It's so much farther than in practice. It's crazy.
And we got a kind of a right to left wind coming up this fairway, and it's not that dense of an enclosure, but you can still feel the wind coming through, but it's certainly much more intense as soon as you get out of this canopy. And it's hard to really trust what your disc is going to do in the air. So really picking that line and the height and the disc selection is all made very difficult.
Did you come up short? We didn't really get to see yours.
I came on the short side of the hill. I did not pick the right disc. I went with my Thunderbird instead of going with a Destroyer. And I realized afterwards that would have been the right disc choice.
And we saw Garrett quite short as well. Whoa.
James almost aced it. That was just almost an absolutely perfect shot.
Through all that wind. That is incredible.
I say this guy knows his discs.
That is so close.
He had no idea from the tee.
I feel like the key to that was he got it flat way out there to the right, and then just let it kind of stall in there. It wasn't fighting the wind. It was just kind of acting like it wasn't even there.
And Kevin.
Oh, no. Wow, that's a little fortunate.
Incredibly fortunate. Throwing directly nose down into the sand, somehow skipping up the sand over the lip inbounds. That would have been just a catastrophic mistake. And a really good recovery shot from that blind approach into that crosswind. That was a really good shot.
Yeah, certainly a lie you would never consider practicing from. To be right just out of the hazard.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
That's a shot he's never thrown, I'll tell you that.
I just hope it didn't roll. Come on.
That was a nice effort. Great speed control, too. You kind of gave it a bid, but kept it so close.
Sometimes you just got to pretend the disc is an egg. How would you throw the egg so it wouldn't crack if it hit the ground?
Kev, get up and down.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
Paul.
just make sure it doesn't hit chains, right?
Yeah, you boil it.
Kevin with a great par save, and look at this drive. What a result for Conrad. Even if he didn't hit the cage, that was coming in so soft, and this ground is really forgiving. It really can just kind of spike, and it will stay right where it hits, and
I felt like it looked close to a
beautiful.
Awesome, man. That would have been. Where'd he hit on the basket?
I think he hit on the basket like an inch below the rim.
It was way close.
So close.
That was beautiful.
Hole 3, our first par 4, 621 feet straight ahead with this out of bounds path on the left side. If you do go out of bounds, you're going to a drop zone, so a difficult save. Overall, though, one of the easier holes on the property. Just get the disc out there with some power, turn it over a little bit, and you're left with a fairly simple upshot with the hill there to kind of control your speed.
That's the third easiest hole today. 3.43 average. It's basically a 3 or die situation. The only mistake you could really make is kind of leaving it high and letting it hyzer over the path OB.
I feel like this is one where the biggest arms might be thinking of going after the green. Like he's almost a circle 2 right there. So I figure that especially Garrett Gurthie in this group has the ability, and we saw you in the practice round actually do almost exactly that, a little better result. But
Yeah, definitely better than that. But
Well, it's so much windier
Yeah, I tried to use
on this day.
and we're going to pretty much a direct headwind. If we have a tailwind, we're going to see at least 7 to 10 twos. But the headwind is really the main issue here, and
That's how you yeet. Be stable now.
that is how you yeet.
Go pin high. Stability.
That's how one yeets. Garrett's still getting 560. He's actually just short of pin high.
Headwind 540, not bad.
He's incredible.
The amount of hyzer that Kevin puts on that shot, it's outrageous.
Wow.
What kind of trust, dude? Sick, Kev. Looked like you were gonna fall over left. Let's go.
That is so scary looking with the out of bounds left, threatening to have, like you said, that trust. Wow.
And he uses his entire body weight to just counter how much angle he's putting on his body.
I feel like a lot of times at this distance, it's kind of like even a little tough upshot because you're so close. Like you almost want to like throw a fairway off the tee or something, so you have a full shot kind of going in there, and you can control the speed a little more.
Yeah, those half throws seem to be pretty problematic. And James even having to go with the skip shot to maybe stay under the wind and also get a more of a full throw.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's really windy like this, one minor mistake when throwing soft really enhances it by, 10, 15 feet, and that's everything.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like a little floaty shot, probably the most difficult thing to do in the wind.
Garrett with the only shot at getting eagle left in the group, and it's just going to be some.
Look at those approaches. Everybody just parked.
Then Dizzle.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So I don't know if we're going to get into it, but this is right about the part of the round when Kevin Jones admitted that he did not know who Chuck Norris was.
Wow.
We were telling Chuck Norris jokes.
Stupid question.
It's all right. Jeff doesn't know.
And he was just like, I got to meet this guy. Who is this Chuck? Is he playing the tournament?
He didn't know Bruce Willis.
Vin Diesel? Have you ever watched like an action movie? Vin Diesel rolling on
Well, we got a star frame, so that's good. But
That is good.
we were all just, wait, Walker, Texas Ranger?
He's
Fifth Element?
He's a young man.
Die
He's
Hard?
a young man.
That's going to be $25 to the edgediscgolf.org program. Obviously going to put discs into hundreds of thousands of kids' hands and teaching them the great sport of disc golf.
And hole 4, par 3, 390 feet downhill to the elevated basket with out of bounds down that entire right side.
Looks like James is going with the same disc that he used where he almost dunked it over there on hole 2, so.
This might be his fireball.
They're kind of similar shapes, really. I mean, this hole's longer, but it's downhill.
I thought you were talking about the disc. I was going to say, you are correct. Yeah, they're very
They could be the same disc. It's almost the same shape.
Yeah.
And he's going to get the same result as hole 3. He just parked that one. Going with the trusty Big Jerm Thunderbird.
That looks great. It should be slamming. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shut Jerm.
Good shot.
Garrett, of course, if I'm going with the fairway driver, is going to go with a slow mid-range. He just, I can't get enough of watching him throw. The way he throws a mid-range, so soft with hyzer, and it just slowly stands up the whole way to just land flat. No one else does it like that.
Probably Color Glow Rock 3.
That's exactly what it was.
And this is also a mid-range, I think.
Yep. Coming up just a bit shorter, right at the edge of the circle. Downhill 33-footer.
Was the G-sign accurate? I noticed your range found it.
Yeah,
Let's go, Kev.
Nice putt there.
That's right in his wheelhouse.
Salad. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, wait.
breather.
Looks like maybe a little lull in the wind.
Yeah, it's like one fairway over from the golf course.
Yeah.
And there's like a couple of houses there, and you can see that foliage in the background there. That really kind of blocks some of that wind. We still feel it, but it's not nearly as intense. It's about 200 feet over to the right side of the screen here.
Oh, James. Nice.
It's looking like another star frame.
Back to back, Jomez is going to go broke.
Star frame.
Rattle those chains.
Good overall start for the card.
Absolutely. On to hole 5, another par 3, 360 feet. Not much uphill, but maybe just a little bit at the end. You've really just got this one tree if you're playing the forehand. There's also a backhand route on the other side. It's sort of a straight shot, or if you have a lot of power, you can even go backhand hyzer. Watch out for that out of bounds path right of the basket.
I feel like this is one of the holes with the wind that we had today that was, I mean, a sidearm's just a cheat code. It really is. It just kind of filters right into there. The wind acts as a nice little regulator.
Yeah, it keeps you from going over the path.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like-
and with all of us in the top 5, I mean, cheat code activated, am I right?
And Paul's here too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get what you mean. Tailwind, you throw it flat. Gonna see some of that here. This is actually getting away from you a little
Oh,
bit.
boy.
Well, just take it easy.
That's a nice slowdown. But I know you were worried as I heard you say
Yeah.
sit. You're worried about that thing lifting on that wind and going to the out of bounds.
Well, just because you know me really well doesn't mean you can just predict everything that I say. Okay. But you were right. I was a little bit concerned about that one going too far right. But like Paul was saying, that wind was a nice regulator. Just kind of smashed the disc down and allowed it to collect on the hillside.
And that's another rock.
Yeah, that's his slightly more beat up rock 3.
Wow.
Kev Jones.
And there's that sidearm cheat code.
That's right.
Skip over
You
the
know what they
right
say, regulators mount up.
Nice shot.
They also say there's so much drama in the LVC.
Just rolled. Stop rolling right to it, I think. Yeah, you rolled right to it.
James from about 50 feet.
Wow. Oh my God.
How's that not drop?
And it had a strong tail in there. That was really
Whoa,
surprising that it
not
didn't.
high. On the freaking center of the band.
Tough putt.
Yeah, very tough putt with that headwind. I feel like when the wind's at a good putt there. When the wind's at this velocity, headwinds are almost easier than tailwinds.
Do you really?
Since it was released, the Halo Wraith has been my primary driver. These discs are so juicy. It's firm, it's got a nice flight plate. I really love the plastic. The Wraith's just like a disc that everyone needs. It's the perfect combination of distance and control. Looks great, flies even better.
And the reason I say that I feel like headwinds are a little bit easier in this situation is because tailwinds kind of cause 3 putts a little more.
Okay.
Hole 6, short par 4, 294 feet, the triple island. You have a couple options. You can jump putt to that first safe landing zone, take a little more risk and go to the second landing zone, roughly 180 feet off the tee, or go all the way to the final spot looking for an eagle 2. It looks like you're going all the way downtown.
Yeah, you know, a wise man once whispered into my ear saying, only pros go for this. Or, well, what did you say? It was you. What did you tell me?
I was trying to get you to go for it, which you've
Oh
done.
my gosh.
Wow, that is so close to perfect.
It's even more annoying watching that now in replay because it felt great and it easily could have caught the edge and just kind of knifed in, but that tailwind pushed it off the back edge. And if I really wanted to make sure that stayed on the green, that's got to come up 10 feet short.
Yeah, it's a high risk play,
It
but
super is, yeah.
but yeah, you know, certainly something to consider going for with a great forehand like you have.
And
Like the other guys are going for that second zone so far. Kevin puts it perfectly in the middle, and James does the same.
And it's just, it really is going for the glory because getting a 3 is just so easy on this one. It really is. And you really should be playing, the real pro shot is play the percentages and just take the birdie. But it's just so enticing being under 300 feet, par 4, nothing in front of you.
Yeah.
Of course you can just stick one there, but
And
Nope.
now you're at the drop zone. You've probably still got about 200 feet to go.
211 to be exact. And AVRX3 looking pretty good, I thought. That's going to be right over there next to that
Oh,
Wraith.
man.
So that's not good.
That looked so perfect. It looked like the wind was just going to just drop it right onto that island, but
Not this time. Maybe next year. If we do this again, hopefully that won't be the result.
it's such a tough decision because you guys do have like that distance dialed, obviously, and so
It really is tough to not go for it.
We played it very similarly, sickeningly similarly
Yeah.
today because I did the same thing. Rolled it across the green. It's just a little too windy. These guys showing us what smart golf looks like. And wait a minute. Oh, good. I thought that was going to cut out of there for a second. But now you're up to the next drop zone. This is for a 5. And it's looking like Some birdie 3s and perhaps a double bogey 6 for the group.
Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of green on the screen until that last putt drops in for me. Everyone else really off to a really good start here. The front 9 definitely serves as the attacking 9, and the back 9 can be attacked as well, but you really want to get those green low scores here in the first 7, 8 holes.
It's interesting. I mean, how many times have you guys taken 6s on 295 foot or 4-foot holes?
Well,
often.
at least once.
US, did you see?
Yeah.
Oh, I took an 8 there. Yeah.
I would say more than 20 times, but I've never liked it.
Thanks for the reminder, by the way, Paul.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like, so.
You know, if nothing else, that hole's interesting. You have eagles, birdies, bogeys, pars, doubles, triples. I mean, it really gives you the full rainbow of scores.
Definitely. Hole 7, par 3, 358 feet. Pretty well guarded basket here under all these pine trees. Most players go with kind of a low backhand and try to multiple skip it up under these trees and settle on the green. But that out of bounds long is always sort of threatening, especially in the wind. If you get the disc flipped over, as we see Kevin gonna try to get this low enough to skip. It's just a little short, but it's not bad.
I love Las Vegas because it makes you play that skip, and a lot of other courses on tour, you're trying to land your disc soft, and you're not really playing a skip shot. It's actually not a shot that we practice a lot, you know, because you like to either throw a sidearm that kind of checks up, or a sky hyzer that checks up, or even a backhand that like lands flat with like a mid-range or something. And here you're just playing the skip for like 90 feet.
And it's such an important part of the game, and it's not something, like you're saying, that you have to really focus on in other places. James Conrad played that skip perfectly, and the disc just pretty much under the basket with that fireball again.
That one I'm not sorry about. I wanted to.
Garrett coming up short left. I believe that was his Firebird.
Thunderbird for you?
Once again, yeah. I really like James' line. I tried to recreate it, but mine just got that nose up skip that the wind kind of got under, and completely different result. Not nearly as well thrown, and also way worse.
I think it is so fun to see from the catch cam how these windy skips happen, because you see them from the tee all the time as a player, and it looks like one thing's happening, but how much they really almost U-turn this heavy wind is really interesting.
Kind of gives you a different perspective when you think about marking someone's shot when it goes out of bounds, because you always just kind of like draw like kind of a straight line from where you came from and where it is.
Come on,
Close. No, don't do that.
Watch this. Talk about so much drama in the LVC. Watch this thing.
No way.
Oh my gosh. That was stressful watching.
Finally.
Wow. I mean, overall bad break, but could have been worse.
It was like watching the roulette ball kind of go, oh, is it going to be black? Is it going to be red?
He's so close again.
Those are the kind of putts that Kevin jams so many times. He kind of gets screwed a little bit, rolls away, and then he knows that maybe justice should have been on his side there to get his par, but not to be this time.
James finally up here to his drive.
Wow. And now he is 5 down through 7.
Tough bogey here. But it's a slopey green. It's just a scary place to be. 38 feet in the wind. You kind of have to go for that, and sometimes bad things happen. On to hole 8, a par 4, and this one was lengthened this year, and they also took all the reeds from around that pond. I think this is the best hole on the course now. Low tee shot, you have to drive it out hard and try to skip as far as you can. Out of bounds golf green, obviously out of bounds lake, and then there's a string line just about 20 feet from the basket, so this is a very tight and treacherous putting surface.
Headwind was coming up the fairway, and it was way stronger than we could feel on the tee, and you can see there James just getting that disc turned over and never had a real chance of fighting back.
Yeah, that's going to leave him a long turnover, but a makeable distance, which makes that shot actually very dangerous.
And watch Garrett with his Halo Destroyer. That thing never really hyzered, and the last second it just kind of skips off to the
I
left.
saw something jut left. Okay. Last second.
Back to James's shot. When you get that far and you have 300 feet into a green, it's really hard to lay that up.
Dude.
So I'm curious to see what kind of angle he has into the green.
And it kicked across
Early
the top
release
of the
here,
wood.
huh?
No, actually, it was a perfect throw. My body concealed the shot, so you'll never know what happened, and it was a perfectly great shot.
One of those that's so good you just can't help but say, no way, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe how good it was myself,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, Nate.
No way, a great one again. Nice job.
Oh, no. That wind is really
It
grabbing those.
really was, and the only person who really made the correction to keep it low and left was me. I threw it.
And you're in the trees, so that is a very interesting place to be.
It was maybe 160 feet off the tee. I'm so glad my body blocked the shot so nobody could see it. It was just an awful throw. But I wasn't punished. I thought that I had actually hit the palm trees and bounced off them and went over the cart path out of bounds, but I was actually safe, so I was pretty fortunate. Kevin having to just play for par as well and lay up safe. And look at James with this opening, awkward stance.
Go cross.
Go.
And
Oh, man.
And that's what I was worried about. It just entices you to go for it because
Yep.
it's a distance you can totally throw. But
Yep.
we saw Kevin a little bit before him just lay it up, and just that little bit of extra distance kind of.
Everyone else laid up and then he went for it.
This needs to turn quickly.
Garrett's just doing Garrett things, ripping past the basket. Fortunate to hit the palm. Still fought to about 35-40. This hole's starting to show why it's the second hardest hole in the course. About a quarter above par on average, 4.24.
A little long there.
Yeah, not what Kevin was looking for.
Oh, Garrett just on the right side there.
Whoa. Good run, dude. Almost.
James just a bit high. He didn't leave it short, though.
No, he did not.
He said he wasn't scared.
Didn't look it. That was a laser.
That'll be the first
Wasn't scared.
bogey for James, and Kevin able to avoid a second bogey on his front nine with a great putt from
Yeah, Kev.
32 feet.
Good save.
Yeah, and a ripping headwind. I mean, that was a really great putt. It's so tough with a headwind when you're putting downhill, especially, to get the height right. I mean, I find myself struggling with that almost more than any putt.
I guess we missed my approach to my AVR X3, but that was a good par save,
Yeah, it's
just sliding it off the green.
it's like a
Hole 9, par 4, 597 feet out of bounds on the right side with the path, and then there's a fence line down the entire left side. The twist on this one is the grass. As you're flying over here, that grass is out of bounds. Only the sandy stuff is inbounds here, so it really pinches down narrow for the approach into the green. Overall, pretty easy par 4 though. Get off the tee somewhere under 500 feet ideally, and then try to get up there to the basket.
I like that the course designer throws the old bait and switch on us.
Baiting and switching is what Garrett's thinking here. He's going Emperor,
No way.
but he's heading right towards that out of bounds green unless that thing gets a big skip.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, is that on the green?
Yes. Yeah, the green, which is actually sand, not the actual grass green.
That's in circle 1.
He's actually long, to be exact here. 597, and Garrett is long by about 10 feet.
Why did you throw yours so soft after seeing what G did?
I don't have that 167 Emperor or the ability.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was absolutely inspiring when he did that, and Kevin said he changed his play. I could be wrong, but that might be the same D2 that he had that famous ace with.
I like that one, Kev.
that is so impressive with Kevin, how much hyzer he's willing to put on the disc, and
Yeah.
it still gets up to flat. It's got to be so touchy, because if it twists over,
It's a good win right now.
Yeah, you're
you
out of
could get in
bounds.
a crazy place.
And that's 540 feet? What does he have, like a 60-footer in
Yeah,
there?
something like that. Yeah.
Whatever.
And Garrett's like, oh, we had a good wind for it. Of course I'm going to go for it. I'm like, I don't care what the wind's doing. There is no way I'm pushing that much out of bounds to try to go for that.
Yeah, the wind was good enough for me to get past that little bunker thing.
Yeah, past the bush.
Yeah.
Mark it down as a win. Nice shot.
Hey, listen, it sat.
Sit, sit, sit.
All over it.
All right.
James leaving that one a little bit too far with the wind picking up. Well, maybe not too far, but farther than he'd like, I'm sure.
Oh, those low branches. And this is the putt we've been waiting for.
Did you like it?
Of course.
Incredible.
Every tournament, there is a hole that Garrett gets that no one else in the field gets.
Get there.
But maybe not this weekend because Jennifer Allen also to this hole.
Wow.
Just your normal two.
Throws it in. Very impressive.
Did she park it, too?
I don't think she after two, she did.
She rips.
She does.
She does rip. But yeah, it's always impressive to see Garrett just getting holes that no one else in the field is even thinking about. And just, I mean, maybe other people were thinking about it, but no one else did it.
Over that hill is tough. My favorite part about looking, like, after you get a big eagle like that is looking back at the tee pad and being like, God, that thing's far away.
And that's what we call a galaxy frame. That is one better than a star frame.
Let's take a look at our UDISC leaderboard. A host of players at 7 under par, a couple 6s, and probably way more 5s than we can show you on the board. Always tight at the beginning.
Yeah, a lot of the norm, and I feel like that's what's going to happen this season is you're going to have about 5 strokes between first place and maybe even 20th place.
Yeah, 1 or 2 strokes can make a huge difference in your tee time the next day. Always tight at the beginning of this event. Thank you so much to the Founders Club. You know our content is supported and founded by you guys. If it weren't for you, we could not bring you all this disc golf action and for the rest of the season. Thank you so much.
And tune back in. We got more Las Vegas Challenge coming right up with the back 9.